Today, we are diving into something truly fascinating. We're going to explore a lost science, a hidden way of looking at the universe, one that saw the cosmos not as some random, chaotic accident, but as a system of profound, perfect order. We are talking about ancestral astronomy.
And it all kicks off with this one single question that has, really bugged experts for decades. How on earth did ancient cultures like the Maya and the Aztecs create these calendars that weren't just accurate, but were mathematically perfect?
The source material for this explainer calls this an enigma. And that word, that's kind of a clue, isn't it? It's like a code for knowledge that's been lost, or maybe even suppressed. And this specific enigma launched one researcher, Joana Burnay, on an absolutely remarkable 20-year quest to decode the numbers and rediscover a completely different way of seeing the entire universe. All right, let's get into it.
So our story really begins with the problem itself, the incredible, almost unbelievable sophistication of these ancient Mesoamerican calendars.
I mean, the level of precision we're talking about here is just astounding. You've got the Mayan Haab calendar of 365 days and the sacred Tzolkin of 260 days. These weren't just close guesses. The source describes their cycles as being in perfect order and proportion. And get this, for these cultures, the physical movements of the planets and the spiritual events in their lives, they weren't two separate things. Nope, they were two faces of the same cosmic reality, happening at the same time. But how? How did they calculate this? Modern science, well, it just didn't have a clear answer.
So, with no clear explanation out there, the researcher, Joana Burnay, she set off on her own. And this wasn't some big academic project with grants and a team of people. No, this was a solitary journey, deep into the numbers.
And wow, what a journey it was. For 15 long years, she was totally immersed in what she called the submundo, which literally means the underworld. It's this marginal reality completely outside of mainstream thought. She had no books, no teachers to guide her. Her only references were the calendar cycles themselves. It was literally just her, a calculator, and this ocean of repeating numbers. And then, in 2016, a massive breakthrough. She discovered the key, a circular reference tool. And that's the moment she realized she wasn't just studying math. Oh no, she was rediscovering a lost form of pure, sophisticated astronomy. And you can really feel the intensity of it all in her own words. She says, "I was immersed in an immensity of numbers, sustained by successive provisional theories." She even says this path had disastrous consequences for her life. She lost friends, she couldn't sell her art, but then she says this, "Strangely, the idea of giving up never occurred to me." Now that is persistence, and it's what led to the core discovery here.
So what was this breakthrough? What was this amazing tool that unlocked everything? Well, it's called the 1440-minute matrix. And you can think of it as the Rosetta Stone for this entire cosmic system. It's that important.
Okay, so let's break this down because it is absolutely crucial. The 1440 matrix is a circle, right? Just like a clock face. And it has 1440 minutes in it. But, and this is the big but, unlike our clock, which only measures time, this tool measures both space and time using the very same unit, the minute. It was used to observe and calculate all the cosmic cycles, the sun, the moon, the planets, in 3 dimensions. This little comparison chart here really shows you just how different this tool is. So look at the 1440 matrix. It uses the minute to measure both space and time, and its whole purpose is to calculate dynamic orbital mechanics in 3D. Now compare that to the zodiac we know today, which uses degrees for symbolic purposes on a flat 2D map. And even our modern clock is 2D, really, just measuring the forward march of time.
So that's the key difference. This ancestral tool wasn't some flat symbolic map of the sky. It was a functional, 3-dimensional calculator used to understand the super intricate dance of the planets and stars in both space and time.
Okay, so if the matrix is the tool, what did it let these ancient astronomers actually see? Well, it revealed this magnificent structure they knew as the Trama the Terra, which translates to the cosmic web of the Earth.
Think of it like this, like a giant cosmic weaving project. The weavers, that's the Earth, Moon, and Sun. The loom they're using is that 1440 matrix. The threads are their orbital paths, all interconnected. And the fabric they weave together, well, that's this intricate geometric pattern in space-time, a structure our ancestors believed was the actual blueprint for all life on Earth.
And this is just a profound idea. It suggests that the patterns of life, the spiral in a seashell, the way a tree branches out, even the rhythms of our own biology, they aren't just random things. They are fractal reflections of this larger, harmonious cosmic structure, woven by our own planet, sun, and moon. So what this really means is that our existence isn't separate from the cosmos at all. It's a direct, patterned expression of it.
And this brings us right to the philosophical heart of this lost science. It represents a worldview where that gap we have today between science and spirituality, it just didn't exist.
Just look at the contrast on this slide. Our modern scientific view often gives us a universe that's vast, material, and ultimately kind of distant from the meaning of our inner, spiritual lives. The source material actually calls this a scientific void. But in the ancestral view, the cosmos was a single integrated system. The movement of a planet wasn't separate from the life of the soul. They were one and the same reality.
What's so fascinating is how these ancient ideas echo in some of our most advanced modern concepts. Einstein's theory of space-time being a geometric fabric, that's a powerful parallel. And so are Carl Jung's ideas. The concept of archetypes, these universal psychic patterns, that totally reflects the ancestral belief that celestial bodies have corresponding psychic influences. And Jung's idea of synchronicity, meaningful coincidences, well, that lines up perfectly with the core ancestral belief that nothing is random.
And this quote from the source material really just captures the whole essence of what this rediscovery might mean for us today. It suggests that, hey, while we once needed to separate science from spirituality to move forward, maybe, just maybe, the time has come to reunite them.
So, where does all this leave us? What's the ultimate takeaway from this whole journey into a lost science?
Well, first and foremost, it offers a vision of the universe that's fundamentally different from one of just chaos and random chance. It reveals a cosmos that's built on principles of order, harmony, and perfect mathematical proportion.
And it's an order that isn't distant or abstract. No, it's an order that directly connects the grand celestial dance of the planets to the most intimate patterns of biology and consciousness right here on Earth.
Which leaves us with a final, lingering question. We think of lost science in terms of forgotten technologies or equations. But what if the most powerful scientific tool our ancestors had, the one we have well and truly lost, was their profound, intuitive, and mathematically backed sense of connection to the cosmos? What might we rediscover if we found that again?